I recently discovered a great new Twitter follow called evo-psych Google. It's basically someone who just finds the dumbest shit that they can from evolutionary psychology and they post it. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I love evolutionary psychology because it's absolutely infested with morons who get to publish some of the stupidest shit you've ever heard in actual science journals. I haven't paid much attention to it in years, but back when I used to talk about it all the time, I drove evolutionary psychologists so batty that one of them, this guy called Ed Clint, worked for a year to create a parody of Skepchick that was called Skepchick Hunt, and was full of articles about how dumb women are for having periods and stuff. Nothing disproves the idea that evolutionary psychology is infested with misogynistic morons like spending months building a website just to call a woman a cunt. Anyway, thanks to this recent Twitter follow, I discovered a very important evolutionary psychology paper I previously missed from 2012. Attractiveness of Women with Rectovaginal Endometriosis, a Case Control Study. You guys, they decided to test whether or not women with an extremely painful disease were hotter than women without it. This is what we're talking about when we talk about how science can be sexist or racist or otherwise bigoted. It's not that you can't scientifically find out if women with endometriosis are hot. It's about why the fuck would you do that? It's about using science funding to rate women's relative hotness for absolutely no fucking reason at all. Like, what if I wanted to know whether or not men with poor eyesight have bigger dicks? I can scientifically study that. I can gather groups of men, I can give them eye tests, and then I can measure their meat. And then maybe if my sample size is small enough, or if I'm good enough at tweaking the statistics, I can find a significant result. And then I can get the Daily Mail or somebody to publish an article saying scientific analysis finds that men who wear glasses have bigger dongers. And that would be science. It would be good science even, in that I would adhere to all the right blindings and peer review and other protocols. But it would be okay at that point to ask, why did someone do this? What is it about our society that would encourage someone to run a test like that? And furthermore, what is the impact on our society when those headlines hit the general public? That's still part of the science. And it's perfectly okay to come to the conclusion saying, that test should not have been done. That study was bigoted. What this study says is that some fucking morons wanted to rate women's hotness for a living, so they did it. But wait, you might think, maybe they were looking for some correlation with phenotypes that might help identify the underlying genetics associated with endometriosis. And you would be right if they had bothered to do a thorough exploration of various phenotypes, but they did not. What they did, their primary result, was rating women on a subjective scale of 1 to 5 by 4 judges who were not trained at all in objective, or at least consistent, attractiveness ratings. And then they built their phenotype categories around that. They looked at hair color, eye color, waist to hip ratio, BMI, breast to underbreast ratio, cup size, that's what that is. That's cup size. Here are some of the other phenotypes that they could have looked at but chose not to. Earlobe attachment, earwax consistency, handedness, red-green color blindness, bitter taste. Why did they not look at any of those? I don't know. They didn't say. They didn't explain that. But if I had to guess, I would say it's because they ended up where they wanted to go. They wanted to judge women's fuckability, and being left-handed doesn't necessarily make you more fuckable. Maybe ambidextrous does, but I digress. But cup size, now that's related to fuckability. So yeah, 4 completely untrained people thought that 100 women with rectovaginal endometriosis were hotter than 100 women with ovarian or peritoneal endometriosis and 100 women without endometriosis. Oh, did I not mention that? In order to get a statistically significant result, they had to separate women with rectovaginal endo from those with 2 other kinds of endo. Otherwise, there's pretty much no difference at all between women with endo and women without. Rectovaginal is the most painful, by the way. So being in horrific pain correlates to being hotter, according to these 4 completely untrained people. Not only was this study scientifically worthless and quite obviously just an opportunity to ogle women for science, but it was also completely immoral. The patients were not informed that they would be judged based on their hotness. The authors say that they didn't want to tell the patients that because then the women might try to be more seductive. Because women with painful endometriosis are known for being more seductive than women without it when told that they'd be judged like prized pigs at auction. It definitely wasn't, because if you told a bunch of women that they were about to be rated on a scale of 1 to 5 by 4 numbskulls for no reason, most of them probably would have said, hey, thanks, but no thanks. Instead, they probably agreed to do this study because they didn't know that this was all about how fuckable they were. They probably thought that this study was actually about endometriosis, finding out more about it, possibly finding better treatment options. Psych, sorry bitches in severe pain who probably spent years trying to find a doctor to diagnose and treat your disease. This is all about your fuckability. So, yeah, fuck those assholes. By the way, just before recording this, I saw that Dr. Jen Gunter posted about this way back when it was published in 2012. I saw this because of this asshole on Twitter who it's just a perfect example of women on the internet, what we have to deal with. So I just want to first call your attention to Jen's excellent blog post, and second, to let everyone laugh at what a stupid asshole this guy is. Classic.